All right, Coach, I don't know how you could have drawn it up any better. It started early, you jumped out, but again, your defense was just outstanding from start to finish.
Yeah, such a blessing to be able to get another home win. We talked about it earlier, but everything ignites from our defensive accountability, and the guys started the game great on both sides of the ball.
Well, you really jumped out early in the last couple ball games, and you put a lot of pressure on your opponent from just an offensive standpoint, especially with the threes going in early.
Yeah, that's big for us. You guys have been watching us since the season. We haven't had a ton of great starts, but it's definitely something we've been working on, and it's good to see us share the basketball, get to the paint, kick out, knock down open threes, and just the force and the pace that we're playing with is much better.
Yeah, just a little more to that. What allowed the starters to jump out to that 16-3 lead, I think it was?
It starts with our defense. Our game plan discipline was pretty high tonight. Finishing possessions, we talked about it earlier in the press conference. When we can rebound the ball, when we can get stops and rebound, that's our best basketball. We play in an open floor. You got guys spaced out. We're sharing the basketball. We're knocking down threes. And that first quarter, we saw it 32-18. A lot of it was that, just getting stops and playing.
I think CJ said, like maybe 2 weeks ago, he's like, good NBA teams take care of the teams they're supposed to. Yeah. Have you found that to be true in the NBA?
Definitely. And Brooklyn's a good team. They have a ton of talent on that team. We know that they haven't been playing as well as they want to lately, but it was important for us to get off to a great start, maintain it, get a win on our home floor. We know we got a back-to-back coming up, so we took care of business tonight.
Yeah, we talked a lot about the big three and their scoring, but how good was it to see just everybody getting involved tonight and being able to win by such a big margin without anybody even reaching 20 points?
Yeah, it was a shared responsibility tonight offensively. Collectively, all those guys, they moved the basketball, they were unselfish, but it starts with those three. Even though the scoring is double digits with 7 guys, it starts with those three, setting the tone early, and we're extremely proud of our game tonight.
And also part of just the offensive execution was just everybody getting up 3-pointers. And I think everybody, basically except Zion, got up at 3 tonight. I guess how important is that with your ball movement, body movement, just being able to create those shots?
It's how we want to play. When we can play that way, it's hard to guard with as many guys as we have that are capable of making shots. And we just got to continue to do it, continue to watch it on film, work on it in practice, in our shoot-arounds, come out during the game and execute it. No matter who we're playing, we just have to continue to trust it. And tonight, it looked well. It looked good, across the board.
Coach, with less than 2 minutes left in the third quarter, your team forced a 24-second violation. You noticed in the fourth quarter, Dyson Daniels denied somebody the ball, his assignment. Are you seeing what you want to see out of this team competitively to where you feel like not only are they playing maybe at their best and their highest level of the season, but they look like they might be ready for what's going to be a daunting road trip?
We're getting there. I'm definitely seeing us come out and have more of a sense of urgency across the board. Like I said, a lot of it is all of our guys, the whole staff, having discussions, being honest about what we want, where we are, and how to make steps towards being the team that we know we can be. And tonight was another step in the right direction.
What do you think of the play where I think Zion got a technical for arguing call where, on replay it looked like Mikal Bridges grabbed him from behind, fouled. The referees missed that?
I thought he got fouled. And, they got to make that call.
Did you give any thoughts you'd be willing to share just on, why Zion sometimes it seems like he gets a tough whistle?
I don't know why. You go back and watch, and you can clearly see he's getting hit. And he's not a guy that normally even argues the calls, but tonight it was really clear, and they got to call those. It didn't matter his size and strength; he's getting fouled like the next guy.
Coach, January 2nd of 2023, the Pels had just beat the Philadelphia 76ers, number 2 in the West, and then you go through January, and January kind of turned the season upside down. Now you're January 2nd, 2024, you're going on this kind of January road trip. How does last year kind of prepare you for this year's January?
I think the biggest lesson that we can learn from last season is when you go through adversity, you go through hard times, you know, it's how you build character, how you build strength. It's how you build who you're going to be as a team, but also individually as men. And what I loved about our group, everybody, our players, staff, we all stuck together. We went through a tough stretch where we lost, I think, 10 games in a row after being number one in the West. We stuck together. We called each other up to be better, and we finished the season strong. And now we want that carryover into this season, and those are the steps that we're building towards. Okay, thank you.
I thought you were about to hand that to me.
Herbert, I think that was the second straight one that all five of the starters had scored in double figures. Just what do you think about the balance you are playing with right now?
I mean, I think that's something we've been trying to do all year. And I think it helps, you know, when shots are falling. So I just credit it to the team believing in what our coaches want us to do and going out and execute.
I mean, this team just has a lot of talent up and down the roster. What are just your thoughts on like all the different guys who are just good NBA players you guys can throw on people on a night-to-night basis?
It's a luxury for sure. You know, to have guys that can come out, defend almost 1 through 5. Like we switch a lot, and we trust the guys that are on the ball defending, and offensively, we just kind of play in the flow. We try not to force a lot of actions. We just try to read and react, and I think we've been doing a good job of that of late.
Yeah, we've talked to Coach a lot about the progression for that starting five and trying to figure things out with you guys, I guess. This was probably one of your better performances this night, I guess. What do you think really worked with y'all, especially to start the game and jump onto that big lead?
Getting stops and playing fast, I think, helped the most. We get out in transition. We have, you know, more opportunities to score, and then we get more possessions, which leads to, you know, the high-scoring nights that we have. But I think it all starts on the defensive end.
And is that kind of been the message from Coach, kind of figuring things out with that starting five as it kind of started on the defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you start games out, you may not be clicking offensively as well as you do later on in the game. Like, you know, normally guys have to settle into the game, but if you come out and get stops early and you score at a moderate rate, I think, you know, as long as we get stops, we'll be okay.
And Herb, to your point about playing with a lot of pace, has that been a big emphasis? I know CJ brought it up earlier in the week. Coaches talked about it. How important is it for you guys to play with such a high pace, like playing off of your defenses, getting out and running as much as you can?
I think it's super important. Like I said, we get stops, we get out in transition. It gives more guys opportunity to create for others. And I just, you know, as long as we stay consistent in that, knowing it starts on the defensive end, I think we'll be okay moving forward.
And Herb, I've got to ask you, since your perspective is out there on the court, Zion seems to, either whether he gets fouled or not, whether the whistle gets blown or not, but sometimes it can even lead to him, like tonight, he picked up a technical argument. When the replay showed, he clearly got grabbed from behind. Why do you think it's so difficult for him to be officiated a little bit more fairly?
I try not to get into the calls. I just know to go out and hoop. They don't call it. There's nothing we really can do about it. But and I credit to Z. I think he probably gets fouled a lot more than they call. He does a great job of trying to play through it, even though I know it gets frustrating. But the only thing we can do is play as hard as we can, live with the results.
Thanks,
I appreciate it.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.
Yep, I take it.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn.
Last season, you guys were a top 10 defense. You guys are back in the top 10 again. When you just look at the big picture, why is this team just generally defended pretty well?
I mean, I think we look back on our losses and we figure out, like, we either going to outscore teams or we're going to stop teams. And I think I asked Coach this, actually, and he was like, I was like, what do you think, what type of team? He said, we got to be both to be really good. And I think that's what we're doing. We being good on both sides, and we winning games now.
Yeah, I mean, early in the season, you were saying, like, look, this team just has a lot of talent. You got to get it all on the floor. We kind of see it now of, like, this is what it looks like when it's almost completely healthy.
Yeah. I mean, we know how good we could be, and that's what a little bit of frustration part on us when we lose games. But obviously, we're missing a big part of our team, Trey Murphy, and so when he gets back, we just gotta keep getting the feel and the rhythm going.
And we've seen B.I.'s defensive numbers, blocks, and steals really go up lately. How does it change things for y'all when he's making a big impact on that end?
I mean, when your superstar doing all the little things and all the things to win the game, it makes the game a lot more easier. I think he's doing a tremendous job on that side. I think he's watching a lot of my film at home, but he's doing a good job, and he got to continue that for us to keep on growing.
And how much does it help for some of your main guys to be able to get some time off in that fourth quarter going into a back-to-back tomorrow night against, one of the top teams in the West?
I mean, it's a growing point. I think we took this game very serious, and we try to attack it and get our guys some rest. We know we got a tough one tomorrow. We didn't look past this, this game, because we know winning in the NBA is tough. So we focused on this game, and it went well. And then halfway through it, we were trying to say, let's get these guys some rest, and let's get ready for tomorrow.
Coming off a big win against the Lakers, and then having a big one again tomorrow night against the leaders in the Western Conference against the Timberwolves. A lot of teams, they say, might kind of have a letdown for a game like tonight. What does it say about the focus of this group to not have one?
That's what I said. It's a growing point for us. We know how easy it is to look past this one and go past the first team in the West. So we did a good job, but we don't want to be, we got a back-to-back tomorrow. We land late. It's okay to come out now. We need to go out there. They don't care, so we need to go out there and hoop. They're a tough team. We know that, and they're playing really well. So we got to get our guys going tomorrow.
I know you mentioned that Trey's out, but it seems like you really found your rhythm. You mentioned that after the last couple of games, and then Larry's now back. Do you feel like you guys coming off the bench, even though you don't have Trey, are kind of feeding off what the Stars are doing and vice versa, to where we're kind of seeing what we saw last season right before all the injuries hit?
Yeah, we getting our little rhythm back with the swag, and we almost fully got our bench back. So Larry was a big part of that, and my ankle, and like I tell everybody, it's important. Like everybody might, getting injured and then getting back in rhythm is tough. It takes time. Sometimes you don't have time, and sometimes you do, but I think that's what we feeling. We finally getting time. Getting back to who we are.
You mentioned B.I. watching some of your defensive tape. Have you noticed that Naji has progressively gotten more and more attempts at the GTA?
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I think it worked a few times. But it's fun. If they're looking out for me, my dog, he's gonna get them. So he's funny with that one.
You mentioned the importance of this. The starters didn't have to play in the fourth quarter. No one played more than like 25 minutes, I think, tonight going into the back-to-back. How important do you think CJ's been as far as just the way he started these last couple games in the first quarter?
Hey man, CJ's playing at a high level. He's shooting the ball at a really high level. I mean, he's doing what he's supposed to do with us, for us, and I mean, there's nothing to say. He hooping right now. He out there flat out hooping, and I don't know what he's doing and what his rhythm or his workout is. He need to continue because he's doing what we need him to do.
Has being teammates with CJ like the past season and a half or whatever it is, has it been like what you thought it would be? Is there anything different or anything like that?
Nah, yeah, I used to watch them, Trailblazers when he played back with Dame. I was a young cat watching them play. They was in the playoffs, in some tough playoffs, and I used to watch, CJ all the time, and you know, he's a great human being, and you know, one thing about him, he know how to score. He got that scoring mentality, in the sense of that's something I'm not like mentality at, and he shows me, you know, like he just shows me like it's okay to miss shots. It's okay, you know, you're gonna work, you're gonna get it back, and you know, he's a great person to learn from. You know, he do a lot of good things on and off the court. He's a great basketball player, and he also a great human being.
What's it like saying how much he's adjusted, just because he plays here so differently than he played in Portland, and being able to figure out how to fit in here?
I think the main thing, you know, CJ came in when he first came in and said it's okay to coach me. I played every role. Like I don't know his history obviously, but to the fullest. But he been a backup point guard. He been a starter. He been one of those guys that takes over games, and also been a guy that play his role. And I think that's one thing he came in with his with the right mindset. And he told us, you know, I played every role, and I understand what this team needs, and I'm gonna do what I was supposed to do. And he's doing the right thing. Take care.